The glow of the American asphalt has always been the stage for limitless freedom. But in 2026, the horizon has shifted, and the economic clouds are growing denser. What used to be a rite of passage is now a brutal test of financial survival. Imagine yourself walking through a brightly lit dealership in Miami or Chicago. The scent of new leather is intoxicating, a direct invitation to immediate consumption. But behind the salesman's smile, calculations hide that your wallet hasn't met yet. The story of anyone trying to buy a car today begins with a fundamental conflict. It's no longer about picking a color or the horsepower under the hood. It's about understanding how the system decided you must pay so much more. The cost of living in the United States has reached a dangerous tipping point. Cumulative inflation has turned the sticker price into a mere opening suggestion. The reality check hits the moment the first cost spreadsheet is finally revealed. John and Sarah represent millions of Americans waking up to this new world. They need a vehicle for work, for school, and for their daily lives. But the 2026 market shows no mercy to those who arrive unprepared for battle. The down payment has become the first great Berlin Wall of the car buying process. In the old days, $1,000 and a handshake could get you on the road. Today, without 20% of the total value up front, the credit desks won't even talk to you. We are talking about shelling out $8,000 or $10,000 immediately. For most, this means draining an emergency fund or a child's college savings. It's a Sophie's choice between mobility today or security tomorrow. If you don't have the cash for the down payment, the system pushes you toward financing. Here, interest isn't just a rate. It's a monster that grows in the dark. Federal Reserve rates have kept the cost of money at record-breaking highs. Your credit score is your only real identity inside that cold, fluorescent room. A score below 700 can mean paying double the original value of the car over time. The bank doesn't see a family. It sees a risk profile on a loss prevention chart. Monthly payments, once comfortable, now consume a third of the median income. The dream of driving a modern SUV quickly morphs into pure, unadulterated anxiety. Every mile driven feels like it costs a fortune in interest and invisible fees. But the vehicle price and interest rates are just the beginning of this epic journey. State sales taxes appear like ghosts at the very moment you go to sign. Depending on where you live, the government demands its cut with an iron fist. In Florida or Texas, the rules change, but the fiscal bite is always certain. You pay tax on the total value, even if the money actually belongs to the bank. It's a cost that is rarely mentioned in those shiny television commercials. Documentation and registration fees are administrative costs that never seem to end. In 2026, digital bureaucracy made everything faster, but significantly more expensive. You pay hundreds of dollars just so the system can acknowledge who you are.
Have you ever stopped to think that the videos you just watched with flawless scripts and engaging narrations might have been created by someone who never even touched a camera or a microphone? There is a new digital elite profiting heavily behind the scenes of YouTube and social media, building massive channels without ever showing their faces or spending thousands of dollars on equipment. While most people are frozen by the fear of being on camera, these individuals are using the hidden power of artificial intelligence to generate automated content that works and earns for them 24 hours a day. The secret to dominating this game isn't about having a famous face. It's about knowing how to command the right tools to create scripts, voices, and visuals that magnetically hold the audience's attention. I've gained access to a strategic method that reveals the exact roadmap for you to build your own invisible digital empire. Mastering AI to turn clicks into a real source of income. It is the perfect opportunity for those seeking financial and geographical freedom without having to deal with the pressure of being a public figure on the internet. Best of all, you can seize this opportunity right now for a symbolic price. The complete training is under an exclusive promotion, dropping from $97 to just $17. This is your passport to unlocking the knowledge you need to start your professional journey with AI today. Click the first link in the description to secure your spot while this discount is still active.
After all the paperwork is done, you finally hold the keys in the palm of your hand. But you cannot leave the lot without your mandatory insurance being fully active. And this is where many buyers feel the true sickening blow to the stomach. Insurance companies have recalculated global risk due to the cost of high-tech parts. A simple bumper today carries sensors that cost as much as an old engine. Insurance premiums in 2026 have spiked 40% compared to previous years. If you are young or live in a dense urban area, prepare yourself for the worst. The insurance premium can easily rival the cost of the monthly car payment itself. Owning a car has turned you into a lifelong partner of the insurance giants. Fuel, though essential, is the most volatile part of this complex equation. Even with electrification, the charging infrastructure in the US charges a premium. The cost per mile has risen, and the household budget bleeds at every stop. Preventive maintenance in 2026 is no longer a task for the backyard amateur. Everything is software controlled, requiring highly specialized and expensive labor. A warning light on the dashboard is a signal that your credit card will be tested. There are also hidden costs for parking and smart tolls on major highways. American cities are charging for the space that metal occupies on the streets. Owning a car is paying for the right to exist in an increasingly expensive space. Depreciation, that silent villain, starts acting the moment you drive off the lot. In 2 years, your investment could be worth half of what you still owe the bank. It is the classic definition of negative equity owing more than the asset is worth. The domino effect on the economy is visible in every middle-class neighborhood. Families are cutting vacations and dinners just to keep their car payments on time. The automobile has ceased to be a life facilitator and became the center of worry. Many Americans are opting for leasing contracts to try and dodge the worst of it. But Leasing 2026 has also tightened its rules on mileage and wear and tear. At the end of the term, the turn-in fees can be a very unpleasant surprise. The root cause of all this is a supply chain that never truly returned to normal. Automakers discovered that selling fewer cars for higher prices is more profitable. Planned scarcity keeps the bargaining power firmly in the hands of corporations. The used car market, once the workers' refuge, has been completely invaded. Cars with 10 years of use are being sold at prices that used to buy late models. There is nowhere to run when the basic necessity becomes a luxury item. The psychological impact of carrying this debt for 72 or 84 months is immense. That is 7 years of your life committed to an object that only loses value. It is the perfect trap to keep the workforce tethered to a cycle of consumption. Economic decisions made in Washington and New York echo in your garage. Raising interest rates to curb inflation has hit the consumer at the very base. The practical effect is a country on wheels that is constantly tripping over debt. John and Sarah looked at the final contract and felt a chill down their spines. The total value, including interest and fees, was nearly double the original price. They wondered if the convenience was worth the price of their peace of mind. You need emotional clarity to avoid being swept away by social status. A new car is a fleeting pleasure that generates long-lasting financial pain. In 2026, financial intelligence is worth more than any amount of horsepower. Financial education should be the first factory accessory for any vehicle. Knowing how to calculate the total cost of ownership is the only way to avoid disaster. Without that math, you are merely renting an illusion of prosperity. The global context of uncertainty makes every dollar saved an act of rebellion. Foreign automakers also face tariffs that drive up domestic prices for everyone. There is no safe harbor in today's auto market, only difficult choices. Autonomous technology and subscription services try to sell themselves as solutions, but in practice, they just change the name on the bill you pay every single month. Direct ownership remains the most expensive and risky path of them all. If you decide to proceed, know that every single comma in that contract must be read. Do not accept prep fees or extended warranties that you did not explicitly ask for. Be the difficult customer, because it is your sweat financing the manager's bonus. The comparison between what you earn and what the car costs must be honest. Often ride-sharing or public transitive available wins the math battle. The pride of having a car in the driveway doesn't pay for next week's groceries. The narrative tension of this market peaks when we look toward the future. If this trend continues, private vehicle ownership will be for the few. The rest of the population will live on temporary rentals and perpetual debt. It is a cinematic scenario of a future that is already knocking on our door today. The conflict between desire and financial possibility defines our era. Economics isn't just numbers. It's real life being shaped by them. I track these market movements every single day with a critical eye. I see people destroying their future for a digital dashboard and LED lights. Mathematics never lies, even when the marketing department tries to deceive us. Considering this entire 2026 landscape, my sincere opinion is one of absolute caution. I, Artha, would not buy a new car under these current market conditions. The opportunity cost of investing that money into real assets is simply too high. I would rather keep a well-maintained older car or use mobility alternatives. The freedom of not having a 5-figure debt is the greatest luxury there is. Only buy if it is a tool for work that pays for itself in a very short time. Think twice before taking this step and becoming another credit statistic. The American economy is strong, but it has no mercy for your individual budget. A true investor knows when the best move is simply not to play the game. The American dream doesn't have to be powered by gasoline or expensive electricity. It can be built on a solid foundation of real savings and smart investments. The choice is yours, but the consequences will be felt for many, many years. Now, I want to hear from you who made it to the end of this journey. Do you think owning a car in the US is still worth the price of your freedom? Comment below with your honest opinion on this 2026 market. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep receiving these. Your subscription helps bring financial education to more people who need it. Knowledge is the only tool that no one can take away from you today. Leave a like if this content brought clarity to your financial decisions. Your support is vital for us to keep producing scripts with this level of detail. I hope you make the best choice for your wallet and for your family.